Alright, so this is section 1-5 called Variables and Expressions. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with example 1 here. One of the important vocabulary terms that you see in the book there on page 49 is called equation. I know we've all heard of an equation, and we did go over this over the last couple sections. An equation is an algebraic sentence, basically, that has an equal sign in it. Alright, so an equal sign right here in the middle of 12 minus m equals 8. We can say that 12 minus m is called an expression, if you remember that from the other day. And then the other side, 8, yes, it's a number, but we would call it an expression. Also, you could call it a numeric expression because it's a number. Numeric means number. But we're going to go ahead and solve this. Number 1 says to find the solution of 12 minus m equals 8. Guys, for this, we're not teaching the one-step method. You might have learned last year, you probably did. All it's wanting you to do is just know that you can plug in numbers and try to figure out what would fit in there for m. So 12 minus what is equal to 8? Well, hopefully you're thinking 4. 12 minus 4 equals 8. So therefore, we know that m equals 4. And that is example number 1. Example number 2 says which value of x makes the equation 2x plus 1 equals 7 true. And then it gives you 4 choices. You've got A, 6, B, 5, C, 4, or D, 3. And all we're doing is checking each of these. That's the first way we're learning this year to solve equations, is just by guessing and checking. So we're going to plug in the 6 first. Remember that 2x really means 2 times x because a number and letter beside each other is multiplying. And so we can plug that in. We got 2 times 6. What is 2 times 6? That is 12 plus 1 is 13. Does 13 equal 7? No. So it's not A. Let's go ahead and try B. 5. 2 times 5 is 10 plus 1 is 11. That does not equal 7 either. We're just trying to find the one that makes the equation true on both sides. C, 4. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 9 also does not equal 7. And then let's try the last one. D is 3. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 does equal 7. So that's the one that works. 2 times 6. Sorry, it doesn't look like a 6 there, but it is. 2 times 6 plus 1, in this case, does. Sorry, that's supposed to be a 3, not a 6. 2 times 3 plus 1 is equal to 7. So 7 equals 7, therefore the answer is D, 3. And on to example number 3. Example 3 says the difference of a number and 10 is 17. So first of all it says difference, so difference means subtract. And it says a number and 10, so we have n for a number and 10 for the other part with a subtraction in the middle. And then there's an important word of is. Alright, and we have to know what this means throughout the year. Is means equals. That's the part where it says is 17. So we write equals 17. And then it tells us to find the number. So what can you plug in there and subtract 10 to get 17? We want you to just try to figure that out on your own. Hopefully you're thinking 27. If you have 27 and then you minus 10, you would get 17. So what does n equal to? If you plug in 27, that makes the equation true. Alright, that is example 3. Alright, so example 4, you can read along with me on page 51. It says a bushel of apples will make approximately 3 gallons of apple cider. The table shows the relationship between the number of bushels of apples and the number of gallons of apple cider. And then part A says, given B, which represents the number of bushels needed, that's where we're defining the variable, write an equation that can be used to find G, the number of gallons of apple cider. And then you can see there they use the equation G equals 3B. And what that means is B stands for bushels. If you take the number of bushels that you have and multiply it by 3, because every bushel is 3 gallons of apple cider, you get G, which is the number of gallons of apple cider. All right, so that's the first thing to write an equation. That's part A. And a lot of times on your own, you've just got to figure out what equation would kind of make sense there to give you the right answer. And then for B, they want you to solve. It says how many bushels, B, are needed to make 54 gallons of cider. Well, 54 gallons of cider, 54 is talking about G. So you put 54 in for G, and then we're trying to figure out how many bushels we need to make 54 gallons. Well, something times 3 right over here needs to equal 54. If you're trying to figure out what multiplied by 3 equals 54, then do the opposite. Divide by 3. 54 divided by 3 is 18. All right, so we've got 3 times 18 bushels. All right, because if you have 18 bushels, multiply that by 3 because 3 gallons of apple cider per bushel, and that will give you the final amount of 54 gallons. All right, that is example 4. Best of luck.